but I want to talk to y'all about some zombies.
Y'all, this gentleman is a former Marine who served in the invasion of Iraq. Listen to some of his stories and let me know what you guys think in the comments. These are absolutely insane.
Viewer discretion advised.
Entertainment purposes only. When I was deployed, we were getting altercations. And for a while, you know, nothing seemed really off. But in like the middle of 2005, or sort of like towards the beginning of it. Anyways, it was like right at the beginning of my deployment. Like, we would get into firefights with people and we would shoot them 4, 5, 6 times. They would fall, they would lose ligaments, and they would get up and continue to fight. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then comes Operation Phantom Fury. Operation Phantom Fury. If you go on YT and type that in, there's a part where you see Marines talking clear as day on top of a rooftop, where they done shot this dude, I don't know how many times, threw a grenade on him, seen him laying in a pool of blood for entertainment purposes only. And they go down there and he's gone.
Drag out! Get back, get back. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I can't see. I don't like this. He's gone. How you know? Because he was fucking laying right there. He's not there no more. He was laying up on. I shot him like 5 times when I came back in the second time. Let's watch each other's back, baby. Watch each other's back. Got a weapon? Got another. There you go. Jesus Christ! Fuck!
I was right around the corner from that. Like, these folks would be eating opium. They'd be cool for like 5-10 minutes. I don't know if that's all they was eating, but they would be high off this opium from these poppy plants that we was helping protect for entertainment purposes only. They would eat this shit. 1 second they be talking about how much they love America and how great we are, and 10 minutes later they be on top of a rooftop or in a manhole slugging it out, laying shit down. Like, we got investigated, and there's an article that y'all can go find right now that's still floating around if y'all think this is cap, where Marines were getting investigated for too many headshots, entertainment purposes only. Too many headshots. They were saying we were executing people. What was happening was we was shooting these people in their chest. We was taking off ligaments. I mean, we was doing real damage to people. And people would fall. You think they was dead, and they were dead. Bleeding out, not even breathing. And they would get the fuck up off the ground and continue to fight. So like I said, we were getting investigated. It was, oh, there's too many headshots coming from these Marines. Well, we had to make sure they was dead. And we wasn't executing people like how they would say they thought we was doing it, like up close and personal. No, we was a little bit of distance away when we was putting shit through people's craniums. Entertainment purposes only. But yeah, y'all think this is cap? Go find that story. It's still out there. Go on YT, type in Operation Phantom Fury. And if you think that's cap, ask any Marines that fought in Haditha, Al-Qaim, Heat, where else? Damn near everywhere. Ramadi. Ask any Marines from 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. Ask any Marines from 3rd Battalion, 25th Marines. Ask any goddamn Marine that was over there in the early 2000s. After 2003, 4-ish. Ask them. You think this is cat? Yeah, zombies.
What do you guys think? Is he telling the truth? More after this.
If you put food out in the sun, it gets dehydrated. If I put food out in the full moonlight, it gets putrefied. It putrefies really fast.
Y'all, some of the stuff that this gentleman points out about the sun and the moon is absolutely mind-blowing. Take a listen.
So it rots. It's exactly opposite. And then you can also, at nighttime, when the moon is full, you can pull out a thermometer and put it out in the light of the moon, right? And let's say, as an example, the thermometer reads 70 degrees in the full moonlight. If I put it in the shade of the moonlight, it actually gets warmer. And I pull it out, it gets colder again. So the moon's light is cold. It's not hot, so it's not reflecting the sun. It has nothing to do with the sun. That's what I mean by it's its own light. And that's a simple scientific experiment. Anybody can do it. Thermometer. I don't know if you've ever done it, but I've lived in the northern climates before, and a lot of times if I park my car under a tree, I'll come out to my windshield, to my car in the morning, and half of my windshield will be frozen and the other half won't be. So it's happened many, many times, and I never really thought about it until a few years ago, and I put it all together. I'm like, wow. The reason it frosted over is because the full moon light hit that part of the windshield, and this part was underneath the tree in the shade.
So we're rotating around the Earth, the sun.
Exactly. I'm proposing to you that the sun and the moon are moving around us, just like it looks like. They are the same size, not 400 miles further, bigger, and 400 times further apart. Nah, it's very much the same. Sun and astrologically speaking, I think the moon has just as much of an impact as the sun on us. One is our conscious side, one's our unconscious side. One's gold, one's silver, one's hot, one's cold. From our perspective, the moon and the sun are the same size. From our perspective, but they tell us, science tries to tell us that we're going around the sun, and the moon's going around us. It looks like, and from our experience, it looks like the sun and the moon are different. They're the exact same size. They have power. We can feel their power. Like if you believe in astrology at all, like all of our ancestors have always believed it. They believe that the sun, the moon, and all the stars, each of the individual stars have their own power. They have their own potency that they're affecting us. So like if you're born on a particular day of the year, that's your sun sign, you're a Gemini. And then the exact day that you're born will know, okay, that's where the moon was in the sky. And then they can take a picture of the entire sky. They know exactly where all the planets were the moment you were born. And that's going to impact your entire life. All of our ancestors said the sun is masculine, the moon's feminine. I mean, we just go on and on and on. And it makes sense. Like if you see the world like that, everything starts clicking. Like all these weird questions that we have from our perspective, from our society, they're all science questions. They're like, well, if we this and that, then and then you come up with all these weird questions. But if you just see the Earth as simple, that's how I see it. It's just very simple. Basically what it boils down to is the sun is not the center of our galaxy. We are. The sun, the moon, all the planets are revolving around us. And not just us as a whole, but I like to tell people, like, your mom and dad told you the world doesn't revolve around you. And I like to tell them, yeah, it does, actually. It totally revolves around you. Whatever you think and believe is the world that you're going to have. Your thoughts, your perspective, the things you expect happen. You know, we live in a magical universe.
What's in Antarctica?
Y'all, check out what this guy finds in his 1958 USA Encyclopedia about Antarctica. It's going to blow your mind. United States representative charged with maintaining effective monitorship over those political, scientific, legislative, and operational activities which comprise the total United States Antarctic program. In December 1955, the task force left New Zealand to set up 2 base stations in the Ross Sea area. Little America 5 was established at Canaan Bay, about 30 miles east along the Ross Ice Shelf from the Bay of Whales, and an air operations base was constructed at Hut Point on Ross Island in McMurdo Sound. 4 United States planes flew from New Zealand to McMurdo Sound on December 20th, 1955, and made exploratory flights over unknown parts of the continent until January 18th, 1956, when they returned to New Zealand. The flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south and longitude 90 degrees east. These flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south and longitude 90 degrees east. And you know me, naturally, I had to go take a look at the latitude and longitude and found a whole lot of nothing, unfortunately. But could you guys imagine this? A dome almost 3 miles high, just under 3 miles high, y'all. That is insane to think about and fathom. 3 miles in the air. It must have been just huge. Absolutely enormous. And it must have been something that is so shocking that it could be the reason they won't let us go down there. It would be very easy to spot if it still exists and it's actually that tall. And this goes back to a discovery I made on Google Earth right at the beginning of my TikTok career. And it kind of makes me think that maybe there was some merit to my thoughts, and maybe, just maybe, there actually was a civilization that built domes this big. Check this out. Now, obviously, I can't verify any of these things because I have no means to do so, but those look pretty much like domes to me. And if you noticed, in the dead center of the dome, there was some sort of peak at the top of it. They look like bells, if you will. And it makes me wonder if that peak wasn't put there for some form of communication or technology, like energy-based technology or Wi-Fi, something along those lines, maybe harnessing the energy of the sun, who knows. But those were around Easter Island, if you didn't notice. I've seen them all over the ocean, pretty much covering the entire world, but there's a concentration of them in Easter Island. They look to me like hemispherical domes, meaning that they're as tall as the radius is lengthwise. So if that's the case, then the one in Antarctica, I believe, could be upwards of 26,000 feet wide, or just over 5 miles wide. That would put the circumference almost 82,000 feet, or close to 18 miles around. Think about that. 18 miles around. Absolutely mind-boggling. So this thing is huge. Absolutely massive. Let's hope the nations didn't just tear it down. Let's hope it still exists. But that could be a big part of why they don't want us in Antarctica. You'd be able to spot that thing from miles away. After this, guys, I'm going to do a video on some theories I have about pyramids and a massive one I may have found on the ocean floor. Stay tuned.
This was done way back in 1931 by Tesla, Nikola Tesla. He took the motor out of a Pierce Arrow car, put one of his electric motors in it, ran a car with the same method. He had approximately about 6 foot of aerial sticking out the back of the car. He had a small box under the dashboard, full of electric circuits and a few valves, and he was getting 90 miles an hour out of the thing.
So Tesla allegedly built a car that had perpetual electrical energy. The man just said that it had an apparatus that was about 6 feet long off the back of the car, an antenna that harvested energy from the atmosphere, allowing it to go 90 miles per hour back in the 1930s and run basically forever, getting energy from the ether. Crazy stuff.
Small group of scientists in the world that have all this knowledge, and they're using it. We're told in recent days that there's an energy crisis. They're having problems with creating new energy sources. Well, that's not true. The whole of the gravity field is energy, and it'll never run out. Now, all these new energy systems, all you'll have in the house will be an antenna on the roof, a small box full of electrical circuits hanging on the wall somewhere or in a cupboard. and you've got free power. That's all you need. Now, I think we could boil this all down to saying that we could have a future with a world with unlimited energy available and with no pollution. And to think now, a man like Ed Leedskalnin, just a small guy like he was, 5 foot tall, and he knew the secrets of anti-gravity. Now, how did he do it? If he can do it, and otherwise fairly uneducated, what would happen if they taught this in our universities?
But how did Ed Leedskalnin, a man with only a 4th grade education, come to understand the most complex secrets of the universe?
On Saturday night, Ed would ride his bike into town, dressed in his best clothes. He sat on his bike and watched the people, studying the personalities of those who came by.
And with equal care, he relentlessly observed natural phenomena.
Millions of people all over the world have been fooled, including myself, by wrong drawings in astronomy books in showing how the Earth's yearly pass around the sun causes summer and winter. In fact, the drawings are wrong. I was lucky. I made a rock telescope and a rock sundial, and they defooled me. Now I know the right path the Earth follows. The scientists should come to Rockgate, Homestead, Florida, and have a good look at the new drawing, the telescope, and the sundial, and then notice how they would affect science.
And he also observed nature with incredible detail.
This is for biologists. I can see chromosomes without a microscope. To see, I close my eyes, and then I open one eye just a little to look at the blue sky. Then I can see chains of beads floating in the liquid in my eye.
Was it simply Ed Leedskalnin's quiet observation of the world that facilitated his understanding and discoveries about the world? Did he learn his secrets from the study of ancient Egypt? Is all matter composed of magnetism, as Leedskalnin claimed? And can scientists today alter the polarity of magnets to nullify the pull of gravity? Could it be that ultimately the answer is in an invitation to explore and study things for ourselves? Ed's sign at the castle boldly warns visitors, you will be seeing unusual accomplishments. That is certainly the case. On November 7, 1951, Ed Leedskalnin took a bus to Jackson Memorial Hospital, leaving a sign at the castle, "We'll be right back." A month later, he died quietly in his sleep from cancer. Unfortunately, Ed died without revealing his secrets. The mystery of his spectacular coral castle remains unexplained.
Take a look at this disturbing video posted by a gentleman who has only posted the following 3 videos on TikTok. He just started 5 days ago. Brand new account. These are the only 3 videos he's posted. It seems to be thermal imagery from a drone of something disturbing taking place in some mountainous wooded areas. He posted in Spanish, so I imagine it's somewhere near the border or in Mexico. It looks as though a gentleman is being chased by some sort of creature, but before that, he captures imagery of a group of gentlemen standing in a circle, dragging a body into the middle of it that looks like some sort of satanic worship. Then he captures a house. On top of these mountains, there's supposed to be no houses, and somebody's hiding in one of them. And I imagine it's the person that ends up being chased by this creature. Take a look.
People are claiming 3I Atlas ships are touching down in Russia. Is it possible?
Ini loh saudara lu nih bawa sekalian ini.
The Pocong is one of the most famous ghosts in Indonesian and Malay folklore. It's often called the wrapped ghost because it appears still bound in the white burial shroud used in Islamic funerals. In Islamic tradition, the dead are wrapped in a white shroud and tied at 3 points: the head, the neck, and the feet. According to myth, when a person dies, their spirit remains on earth for 40 days. If by the end of those 40 days the shroud is not properly untied, the spirit becomes trapped and rises as a pocong. A pocong is created when the burial ties are not removed before the 40 days, so the soul is unable to move on, becoming trapped in the living world and the afterlife. Seeing one means you may die very soon. In some villages, people perform rituals of releasing the knots to prevent this fate. The knots are symbolic. If not untied physically, they must be untied symbolically or ritually undone. Instead of walking, a pocong hops because its legs are still tied together. This hop movement is one reason it's both considered terrifying and weirdly comical in some modern depictions. If you are brave enough to hug a pocong, it will bring you good fortune. Some storytellers say the luck comes after untying the knot on its head or feet, which frees it.
Ini loh saudara lu nih bawa sekalian ini.
U.S. Army discovers giant believer to be Gilgamesh in Iraq.
What's going on, my Nightgod people? I hope you enjoyed that series of reels and TikToks. Man, I thought the soldier in the beginning, the Marine who fought in Iraq and gave accounts of possible encounters with zombies early on in the war. It's not like he didn't bring receipts. He mentioned the article that I showed you guys, and also he mentioned the video that I threw in there of the soldiers that thought their enemy combatant was neutralized, even threw a hand grenade. It blew up, but somehow it still got up and continued fighting. And then the soldiers that seemingly came right up out of the ground. But yeah, I got another compilation of reels on deck for you guys. I hope you liked the Antarctica video as well with the dome. I think I'm onto something there. And in the next video, I'm going to talk to you guys about pyramids and how, like Mount Kailash in Tibet, people believe may be a pyramid. And I'm going to prove that I think I may have found one on the ocean floor that's just as massive. Hope you enjoyed the video. Come back next time. Stay in the love, stay in the light, be kind to others. Out.